Let me ask you two questions about public speaking before we get into writing. Two questions on public speaking. First, when did you realize that public speaking would be valuable for your career? And two, is public speaking a skill that you developed? Can we get better at it?
And I was lucky enough to grow up in an educational system. I'm from Canada, from Ontario, sort of the distant suburbs of our biggest city, Toronto. And I was lucky enough to have a school system that actually had public speaking as one of the extracurricular things you could do. You know, there were organized public speaking classes and contests and stuff. And I just sort of, I found it interesting because it made me so nervous to get up and speak in front of people. And I thought, man, it would be better if I was good at that, or if I at least could get over my fear. And so I entered public speaking contests in 8th grade, you know, just to try and learn how to do this thing. And at the same time, I wanted to be an astronaut. And I recognized that that's a public job. And you know, so it's one, you know, I had to learn how to scuba dive, learn how to fly airplanes, become an engineer, all these other things. But I also thought I sure should learn how to express myself in public. That's going to be handy as well. And so I think I recognized it was going to be important in my life for business and everything else when I was in 8th grade. And then obviously it's something that you can get better at. You mentioned that I gave a TED Talk and that it's in your book. You know, I've been a public speaker for most of my adult life because as an astronaut, you lead a very public life and there's so few of us. You know, I've spoken in, I don't know, 1,000 schools and Rotary clubs, and then all the way up to, I've spoken in the United Nations and, you know, in front of the biggest corporations. And when I was getting ready to do my TED Talk, you know, they treated me like I was a neophyte. They're like, okay, this is how you give a talk. But even at that point, they had some great advice, you know, how to structure your talk and how to palm the delivery of certain pieces of information and how to juxtapose some stuff in the order. Don't just make stuff chronological. And, you know, how do you involve the audience in the ideas that you're trying to share? Even at that level, I learned from that process, and I'm still learning all the time. So yeah, like anything, maybe even more than a lot of things, the skill of public speaking is almost exclusively a learned skill.